Welcome, fellow adventurers. Today, we embark on a journey to the heart of Europe, to places teetering on the brink of irreversible change. These are Europe's most rapidly changing countries in 2024, where ancient traditions collide with the relentless pace of the modern world. The landscapes, the communities, the very soul of these nations are transforming before our eyes. This isn't just a travel video. It's a mission to witness these incredible places before they are altered forever. Our adventure will take us from the untouched coastlines of the Balkans to the resilient heartlands of Eastern Europe. We'll meet the people, hear their stories, and feel the pulse of nations in flux. The wild is calling, and we must answer before it's too late. Our first stop is Albania, a land of raw, untamed beauty, one of Europe's last great secrets. For decades it was isolated, but now the world is rushing in. On the shores of the Ionian Sea, you feel the tensioned turquoise waters, rugged mountains, and the cranes of new resorts rising. The accursed mountains stand as a testament to nature's power, but the youth are leaving for jobs on the coast, taking history with them. I met Luan, an old shepherd in Valbona Valley, who fears his grandchildren will only know this life through photographs. New roads bring tourists and opportunity, but also noise and waste, threatening the delicate balance of this ecosystem. Albania is wrestling with how to embrace progress without sacrificing its soul. The Vjosa River, now a national park, is a sign of hope, a fight for wildness not yet lost. Ancient ruins and luxury hotels now stand side by side. The transformation is staggering. Even deep in the forest, plastic bottles and wrappers warn of the creeping tide of change. Albanian hospitality is legendary, but as tourism grows, will this generosity survive? To travel to Albania in 2024 is to witness a country at a crossroads. The reward, a chance to see a truly wild corner of Europe and understand the urgent need to protect it. Come and see it for yourself before this last frontier is tamed forever. From Albania, we cross into Montenegro, a country whose name, Black Mountain, hints at its dramatic soul. The Bay of Kotor is breathtaking, but its beauty is under threat. Colossal cruise ships flood the bay, overwhelming the ecosystem and infrastructure. I met Nicola, a fisherman near Perast, who told me the fish are disappearing, victims of climate change and constant boat traffic. Inland, Durmitor National Park faces illegal construction and deforestation. The Tara River Canyon, a paradise for rafters, is threatened by plans for hydroelectric dams. Montenegro faces heartbreaking choices. How to build a modern economy without selling off its natural inheritance. Luxury resorts and marinas create private enclaves, leaving locals feeling their countries being sold piece by piece. In Kotor's old town, history seeps from the stones at dawn. But by midday, crowds erase the magic. Climate change brings rising sea levels and extreme weather, scarring the landscape. Visiting Montenegro now is to glimpse a paradise in peril, beauty and overdevelopment side by side. You can still find moments of wonder, but you have to search for them. This jewel of the Adriatic is fading. We must see it and fight for it before its light goes out. Our journey takes us east to Georgia, a land of ancient traditions and explosive change. In Tbilisi, ancient fortresses overlook ultra-modern architecture, a living paradox. EU flags fly everywhere, but the shadow of its northern neighbor looms large. I spoke with Tamar, a young student who feels European but lives with the reality of occupied territories and frozen conflict. In Svaneti, medieval towers and unique traditions face the arrival of new roads and ski resorts. An old tower keeper worries the next generation will forget the old ways. Georgian feasts, supras, bind families together, but fast food and modern life threaten these traditions. Rapid development brings energy and urgency, but also stark divides between new wealth and old struggles. In Batumi, skyscrapers rise next to crumbling Soviet blocks. The cave city of Vardzia stands as a testament to endurance. But who will tend these sites as youth leave for cities or abroad? Georgia is a country fighting for its identity, balancing ancient soul with modern aspirations. To travel here now is to witness a nation writing its next chapter. One you can feel in every word, every song, every glass of wine. Now we enter Ukraine, a nation fighting for its very existence. The landscape is scarred by destruction, not development. Yet amidst tragedy, I found a spirit of resilience unlike any other. In Kiev, life continues. Cafes open, music plays, but air raid sirens are a constant reminder of danger. The cultural loss is staggering. Centuries-old churches and theaters reduced to rubble. I met Olena, a former tour guide turned volunteer who said, "They can destroy our buildings but not our spirit. We will rebuild." The environment suffers too: contaminated soil, polluted rivers and burned forests, wounds that will take generations to heal. In centers for displaced people, children draw tanks instead of flowers, yet still find moments of joy. Heritage sites are fiercely protected, with desperate efforts to digitize and preserve what remains. To witness Ukraine in 2024 is to see both the worst and best of humanity, unbreakable courage in the face of horror. The story of Ukraine is not over. Its people write the next chapter every day, needing the world to remember and support them. We travel south to Moldova, a country quietly changing as its rural villages disappear. Moldova is one of Europe's poorest countries, and economic migration is hollowing out its heartland. Rolling hills and vineyards are dotted with empty houses, casualties not of war but of opportunity abroad. I met Ion and Maria, whose children live in Italy. Their village is quiet, the school closed, the shop rarely open. Nearly a third of Moldovans live and work abroad, leaving a society of the very young and very old. The cultural loss is profound. Traditional crafts, songs and dialects fade as the last keepers age, yet some are returning, reviving wineries, creating jobs and fighting against depopulation. The breakaway region of Transnistria adds complexity, draining resources and creating instability. To travel through Moldova is to feel both melancholy and dignity, a simple rural life on the verge of extinction. Visiting now is a chance to support those fighting to save it, and to understand a different kind of collapse, one that happens with a quiet sigh. Back in the Balkans, Bosnia and Herzegovina is a land of beauty and deep scars from the 1990s war. Mostar's rebuilt old bridge is a symbol of resilience, but bullet-pocked buildings remain as reminders. The country's wild rivers are under siege from hundreds of planned hydroelectric dams. I met the brave women of Krušika, who blockaded a bridge for over 500 days to protect their river. Economic struggles and high unemployment force many young people to leave, draining the country's future. The complex political system often leads to gridlock and corruption. Sarajevo's vibrant spirit endures, but the memory of siege and the threat of unexploded landmines linger. To visit Bosnia and Herzegovina is to be moved by its landscapes and humbled by its people's strength. The fight for the rivers is a fight for the nation's soul. Now is the time to come, witness this beauty and support those fighting to protect it. Our final destination is North Macedonia, a country with an ancient history and a modern identity crisis. Lake Ohrid, a UNESCO site, is threatened by illegal construction and pollution. In Skopje, a controversial redevelopment has transformed the city center, creating tension between national identity and daily reality. I spoke with a young artist who said, "We don't need giant statues to feel proud. We need jobs, a better environment and a future." Rural depopulation is emptying villages, leaving only the elderly to tend fading traditions. The Shar Mountains, now a national park, are threatened by illegal logging and poaching. The resolution of the name dispute has opened doors to NATO and the EU, but at a cost to national identity. North Macedonia stands at a crossroads, trying to embrace a European future while holding on to its unique soul. Visiting now is to witness a nation in reinvention, to see Lake Ohrid before it's damaged, and to meet a people grappling with who they are and where they're going. Our journey through Europe's fastest changing countries ends, but their stories are far from over. These are living sagas of struggle, resilience, and change. A call to action for us all. If these stories moved you, please subscribe and help us continue this mission. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. As you plan your travels, do so with an open heart and a conscious mind. Travel responsibly. Support local communities. Listen to their stories. Be a witness, not just a tourist. The adventure continues. Stay wild.